Welcome to my next UFC predictions video as we have UFC 302 taking place on Saturday, June 1st. Just going to give my predictions for the main card. And remember, as always, that the card is subject to change. And I'm recording this video on Thursday, May 23rd to air on Friday morning, May 24th. So you never know what can happen in that amount of time. Before I get into my predictions, though, I do have to cover a few things. I know a lot of you are unhappy and upset that I did not react or get predictions for UFC 301. The truth of the matter is I was kind of strapped for cash, and yeah, I could have made it happen, but I really wasn't excited enough to go out of my way. Yeah, I wanted to see Jose Aldo return, and apparently he looked awesome on the card. I did not order it at all. I did not watch it at all. I just, like I said, I was kind of strapped for cash, and I know a lot of you sent me messages on Instagram calling me a casual. I am a casual fan because, yes, I order all these pay-per-view events, the expensive ones, but I don't usually watch the fight night cards. Obviously, I'll watch some here and there, but I am a casual because I only order the main big cards, and I know a couple of people that watch every single card, every single fight that comes on ESPN Plus. I don't. I guess I don't have time for it. I don't know. But going forward, if there's an event that I'm a little strapped for cash with, and obviously there were a couple events in June that I definitely wanted to make sure that I had money for to order. But in the future, if this happens, what I'll do is I'll post my Venmo account on my community tab on the channel, and as long as I get like half of the funds covered, I'll cover the other half and I'll order the event. But it's been a while since I missed one of the pay-per-view cards, so shouldn't happen for a while, but if it might happen, I'll let all you know. And then obviously, if you're a fan of the UFC and you like prediction videos and reaction videos, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you hammer fist that like button, share this video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on my predictions of your own, or any predictions that you have for UFC fights in the future, or just fights that you want to see that you want to throw out there like, how about this fight? That'd be cool. Remember, I react to fights as well. What I'll do about an hour to 2 hours after the main card's over with, I'll post my first reaction on this channel. Usually it's the main event. Every once in a while it'll get a copyright strike, although that hasn't happened for a while. I think the last time I had one happen was the Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes 2 fight. That was the last time I got a strike on a video. And then what I'll do now, later on that day at 7 a.m. in the morning, so like 5 hours later, I'll post the next reaction to the next big fight, likely the co-main event. And then I'll do 24 hours after that, 24 hours of that, and then 24 hours of that. So 5 fights in 4 days is what you'll get from me. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV. Kicking things off in the welterweight division, we have Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Anjos. Should be a fun, striking fight. These guys aren't necessarily known for their takedowns. Randy Brown is a very long, lengthy fighter. He's 6'3" with a 78-inch reach advantage, where Zaleski dos Anjos is, 5'11" with a age 37, with a 73-inch advantage in reach, which is a disadvantage. I think Randy Brown's going to win the fight, but I'm not 100% sure. In fact, I feel like this is a flip-flop. I think Zaleski dos Anjos could easily win, but there's times where he gets clipped very easily and then just goes out, where Randy Brown is very capable of doing that. But as long as the fight stays standing, I think Randy Brown has a really good chance to win, and that's why I'm going to pick him. Next up in the heavyweight division, we have Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. Obviously, Jailton Almeida is coming off that loss to Curtis Blades, where he was dominating him in the first round with takedowns and like grappling and that, and then just got hammer-fisted in the second round. And Romanov is one of those fighters that he looked impressive at one point, but he gained a lot of weight all of a sudden. So I don't know, I guess he said something about like he kind of lost interest in training or like going hard. If he has a better mindset, I think it'll be better for him in this fight. But I mean, I haven't been overly impressed with him as of late, but I think Jailton Almeida is going to win this fight. They're both known for their grappling and takedowns. But I think Jailton Almeida he's the more skilled fighter. He's younger. He has a little bit bigger of a reach, 79-inch to 75-inch. I could see Romanov winning this fight if he's like training hard. But I mean, just because he's a little bit more pudgy doesn't mean he's going to lose the fight either. But I just think he looked a lot better at one point, where lately he hasn't looked the best. Not to judge anybody on their looks, but I'm just saying. But I think Jailton Almeida is going to win the fight, and I'd like to see him utilize some different techniques in this fight. Maybe do a little bit more striking if he can, to, because they're both guys that grapple and wrestle. Maybe try to do some stand-up and show some skills that he has, because he's a very, he's got some agility and he's got some moves. He just hasn't utilized them yet. But I am picking Jailton Almeida to win the fight. But I think Romanov has a puncher's chance, I guess you could say. Next up in the middleweight division, we have Kevin Holland versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I totally probably botched that. I've heard it pronounced 4 different ways, and I always get screwed up when there's K's, J's, and Z's and something. But I think Kevin Holland's going to win this fight. My reasoning behind it, he's 6'3" versus 6 foot. Yes, doesn't necessarily mean the short guy is always going to lose. But he has a really long reach, an 81-inch reach to the 74-inch reach. Now, Oleksiejczuk is a tough dog, but I just think he's going to be outmatched by Kevin Holland. Even though Kevin Holland's going up in weight to middleweight again in this fight, I don't know if that's where he's going to stay at. I just think with this most likely being a stand-up fight, based on their takedown percentages, well, we know Kevin Holland doesn't want to throw a takedown unless he's rocked. But I think Kevin Holland is going to get the job done. Although I wouldn't count Oleksiejczuk, whatever the hell that name is, out. I can say Joanna Jacek, but I don't even think Jacek is the right pronunciation of her name. People say it different ways, so I don't know who's right. And next up, our co-main event of the evening in the middleweight division, we have the former middleweight champion Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, if this fight happens. Sean Strickland recently said that Costa hasn't signed the contract yet, so I don't know if he has yet. That was a couple days ago that I heard that. Obviously, we know what Sean Strickland is going to do. He's going to try to jab his way into Paulo Costa and beat him that way. Costa is a guy that is a very, very impressive, has a very impressive physique. But he's kind of short-armed. His arms are only 72 inches, where Strickland's are 76. So he's going to have a short arms. But if he can throw some wild and crazy, strikes out there, he might catch Strickland. Like his arms, Dustin Poirier's arms are the same size as Paulo Costa. So I have a weird theory. I think Paulo Costa is actually a lot better than we're giving him credit for. Yes, I know he lost to Robert Whittaker, but he threw one hell of a head kick in that first round. And personally, I don't know how Robert Whittaker was still standing after that head kick. Now, in the fight against Luke Rockhold, where it was a sloppy fight by Paulo Costa, he threw in a takedown in that fight. Now, his takedown percentage is not very high at all. If he can do something different against Sean Strickland to at least maybe gain some momentum, and if he can hold Sean Strickland down, which we know Strickland has good takedown defense, but if he's not really expecting you to do it, you might be able to take him down. But I'm actually going to go with Paulo Costa. I know I'm probably picking with my heart, and it's not like I'm one of those people that don't like Sean Strickland. I think he's hilarious. I, for the most part, agree with a lot of stuff that he says. Not everything, but I like Strickland. I just like Paulo Costa a lot better, unfortunately. So I am going to go with Paulo Costa. Hopefully it's a knockout, or maybe he wins by a decision where he wins like a round on the ground. And then, like Strickland, he scores points with kind of jabs, like boring jabs, and unless he knocks Costa out. But I'm going to go with Paulo Costa. I know it's a hot take. I'm going to go with Paulo Costa to win the fight. That's all I have to say. I can't pick all the favorites. And then in the main event of the evening, we have the former interim lightweight champion of the world, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, versus the #1 pound-per-pound fighter, the light heavyweight champion, Islam Makhachev. This might be Dustin Poirier's last fight, and it's his last chance at a title shot, or it's his last title fight. Unfortunately for Dustin Poirier, he's fighting right now the best pound-per-pound fighter, unless you count John Jones, of course. He should be #1 in my opinion, but Islam is damn good. He looked damn good against Alexander Volkanovski in his last fight. Here's what I'm going to say. Dustin Poirier is a really good striker. He has some jiu-jitsu skills, and he can do some wrestling if the guy he's fighting isn't very good. Like, he can take you down and do some ground and pound. But this is Islam Makhachev, who is really good on the ground, and I don't know if he's really going to get taken down by Dustin Poirier. So Poirier is going to have to rely on his power, and if Islam wants to strike with him and continue striking, okay, Poirier, we'll give him a puncher's chance, but Islam is so skilled, and look what Islam did to Charles Oliveira. That's the fight I look back on. That's how dominant Islam Makhachev can be. So I'm going to go with Islam Makhachev to win this fight. Unfortunately, if this is the end of Dustin Poirier, he's awesome. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Top 10 for sure active right now. I don't know what on my all-time list, but he's certainly an entertaining fighter, and he's always in fun, exciting fights. Just don't jump to Gilly in this fight. That would be crazy if he actually gets Islam to tap from a guillotine, but who knows what'll happen. But I'm going with Islam. I think he's going to overwhelm Poirier with a takedown or two. Maybe get one takedown and just, ground and pound, switch positions, just give Poirier too much. But who knows? Poirier obviously will be trying everything he can. He knows that this is his last fight, I think, and it may very well be. I don't know what's next after this. Like, if you lose to Islam, what do? Do you do Gaethje Poirier 3? I guess that's something that might make Dustin excited, but I don't know. I'm going with Islam Makhachev to win this fight and retain his title, and that's what I have to say. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for UFC 302. Make sure that you hammer fist that like button, share this video, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts on my predictions of your own, or any future fight predictions that you have, or just fights that you want to see that are randomly you're going to throw out there. Remember, I'm going to react to all these fights on the main card, so come back to this channel about an hour to 2 hours after the main card is over with. Most likely I'll post Poirier versus Makhachev, unless something happens. And then later on in the morning at like 7 a.m. Central Time, I'll post Paulo Costa versus Sean Strickland. And then the other fights every morning at 7 a.m. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Monday. So there you have it. Again, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You are watching the video anyway. Show your damn support. Be a part of something special. You never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.